Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. So, today I'm here to give you all a Christmas present. I'm here to give you all something to look forward to. This is something that I've known about for quite a while actually. I've been sitting on it for quite a bit of time, but there seems to be an overriding level of negativity in the player base at the minute. Not a lot of things for people to look forward to, at least that's the impression that people are giving off. Well, today I am going to show you something that is going to give you something to look forward to. Now, like I say, I've known about this for a while, but the specific thing I'm going to show you today was mined from within the game, and I need to give a shout out to the person who sent these files to me. I won't say directly who it was, but let's just say that they are well known and M Bison themed.
Give your meat a good old rub. Yeah, boy.
So, yeah, let's not beat about the bush anymore. Let me show you what I'm going to show you, and you guys can see for yourself what you've got to look forward to. I've got 3 videos to show you, then we'll talk a little bit about what these are, what they mean, and I guess we can kind of start thinking about the future. So, let's go with video number 1. What's that? What's that? Oh my god, it's the thing that people thought I was lying about. That's right, TNMMT. First up, we have the summoning animation when you pull them for Leonardo, who you can see right here. But he's not the only one we're going to show you today. I'm also going to be showing you this one. Michelangelo is going to be getting added to the game. Now, we can also kind of pinpoint how this is going to work, because they're going to have an EX skill. This is the type of image you get popping up when you get an EX attack. This is most likely going to be their EX image. So, what does that tell us? Now, I've made a looped video where these can just loop through while I'm speaking. It basically tells us that kind of what I suspected. This is most likely going to be a 2-part celebration or a 2-part collaboration, and you can see pretty much going by the imagery here that they're going to lead with part 1, which is going to be Michelangelo and Leonardo, right? Now, Raphael and Donatello are not in the game right now. That is most likely because they're going to be part 2. Right now, before people start worrying about, oh, Hayzink, they're going to pull it now because you've made this video. No, they're not, because they've paid for it. Right? They've paid for it. They're not going to just suddenly park a collab because someone showed you this, because at the end of the day, all that money they've spent would be wasted. No, I actually think they've put this in the files because they know fine well, they know for a fact that the game gets data mined because they want this to get out there. And you know what? I want people to know that there is something to actually look forward to. So here's how I think it's going to work. I think it's going to work. There's no chance in hell they're going to put up 2 special summon units in the 1-2 week period. Okay. Now I do think there will be 2 special summon units. I think part 1 will have a special summon unit, and I think part 2 will have a special summon unit. Right. Part 2 is pretty easy for me to kind of figure out. It'll be Raphael, because I believe Raphael is the most popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, right? So there's no chance he's not going to be a special summon. Where things get a little bit dicey is part 1. Now, obviously on paper, Leonardo is the leader of the Turtles, but I don't think Leonardo is one of the most popular Turtles. I know in the 80s that Michelangelo was probably the most popular turtle, but things have moved on and I don't think he is anymore, but I still think he's more popular than Leonardo. Again, people can correct me if I'm wrong there, because I'm not really up with modern turtles. I was a fan in the 80s, so I don't know if Michelangelo is more popular than Leonardo. The only thing I know for sure is Raphael is. So who's going to be the special summon in part 1? I don't know. I honestly don't know. It could be Leo and it could be Mikey, so I don't know which way they go with that. With the other unit, however, that's where I think things will get a little bit, I guess, sketchy with the community, depending on your point of view. there is a minuscule chance that they make one of these units free to play. Honestly, I would say there's a less than 1% chance. I just do not see it happening myself. There is maybe a slightly higher chance that they make one of these units either a divination or, let's be real, we're not going to make it a standard faction. They might make it a divination unit, right? And they will most likely, I believe, make the other one a legend that you buy, right? So if I had to kind of go out on a limb and make a prediction here of what they're going to do, they're either going to do one special summon, one legend for each part, right? That to me seems like they're probably maybe what they'll lean towards doing. Again, just need to wait and see. Or they'll do what I said a second ago, which is one special, one divination, one special, one legend, right? And the way that they'll do that, I believe, is part one, they'll do either Leo or Mikey as a special, and they'll do the other one as a divination if they are going to do that route, right? Because I think out of all of them, if they were only going to make one of them a legend, I feel like it would be Donatello. I feel like Donatello would be, and at least in their eyes, the one that would be least likely to generate revenue via summoning. So I think they would probably take Donatello and make him the one-off unit that you can just purchase for the lowest amount, right? I think going with part one, if they're not just going to do a legend, it's most likely going to be either Leo or Mikey. Take whichever one you want. They're going to make one of the two of them a special and the other one a divination unit. Now, one thing I want to look at here is the styling of the units. Now, you can't really see it here, right? But if we go to here, so if you look at the kind of styling of Michelangelo here, you can see that they've gone for, I would say, like a hybrid of the 80s design and Rise. So if you guys aren't aware, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was like the 90s cartoon, which was a little bit, I want to say a little bit grittier, although it evolved and it wasn't in the end, but the Turtles looked a little bit more muscular like they kind of do here, whereas in the 80s they were a lot more rounded and cartoony essentially, right? They kind of tried to gravitate more towards a Japanese anime aesthetic for Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and to me that kind of looks like what we've got here, right? I mean, if you can probably see it a little bit better on Leonardo. I'll pause it when we've got that there. That is most likely the sprite in game, right? There's not a lot of imagery of the sprites, but if we look here, you can see how the sprite is going to work. That is how your sprite is going to be. But then, obviously, this is how the character art is going to be. So it's two different things, right? But you can see it here again. This, to me, in fact, you know what? In a lot of ways, it's kind of a combination of the comic as well. It's as if they've taken the best bits of the 80s, the 90s, and the comics, and they've come up with this kind of design. I'm all for it. I think it looks really good. This artwork looks really good. The sprite work itself, it's harder to tell, you know, because you've not really got much to go on here. Like you can see here, it isn't a lot to kind of to go on, but you can see it's got that typical Street Fighter Duel squashed sprite look that a lot of characters in the game do. So I don't think they're going to be the tallest of characters. They might be maybe around about just a little bit taller than, I want to say, someone like Ibuki, but I don't think they'll be as tall as someone like Gorken, for example. But hey, it's good for us to look forward to it. Now, when this will come, who knows? It's in the files, so that generally means it's probably not too far away, right? Now, if I had to kind of make a prediction for when I think it will come, I think the most likely spot is between January and February, because I kind of think now in my head I know what they're going to do for the anniversary. We were obviously supposed to get, at least we were told we were supposed to get Yakuza Ken, right? And we've not received Yakuza Ken. Now, if we do not get Yakuza Ken in January, I'm willing to lock this in 100%. I think what they're going to do is basically make the 1 year anniversary Ryu and Ken themed, or Ryu and Ken themed. I think what they'll do is they'll release Yakuza Ken as a 50% off unit, like they did on the half-year anniversary with Jury, and as a purchasable unit, they'll release Fashion Ryu, which will mean the 1 year anniversary is completely themed around Ryu and Ken. Okay, it's a Yakuza version of Ken, but it's still Ken, the two most iconic Street Fighter characters. So I think that's what they're going to do for the 1 year anniversary, which would be tail end of February, March. So that means we have to have 2 events before then, one in January and one in February. So that, to me, seems like the most logical spot for the Turtles to fall. If they do it as 2 parts, then it might well be January, February. So the event starts in January, you've got part 1, maybe have a week off, part 2, straight into the anniversary. That is the most logical timeline that I can see for it. But again, that's me just using logic, calendars, and trying to figure out when it will fall. But there you go. It's something to look forward to, something to get excited about. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. When we've got some details to show in relation to Raphael and Donatello, you will find out. But I think it's pretty obvious now how this is trending, what they're going to do. Let me know if you're still looking forward to it. Has that ship sailed? Did you want this to happen months ago? Are you still excited? I've been Hayzink. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.